Hi again. It's getting closer to the evening, and we are still at LXTHON building our solution within 3 AI challenges. Yeah, let me recap it a little. We have a LegChat as an EdTech AI platform, and the first course, I don't know, been done in intent or not, is a quantum computing. I think it's to break the security algorithms. Yeah. The second challenge is from ideas.xyz. It's about recognizing blood vessel from the eye whites. And the third challenge is that Vexa.ai is a digital AI assistant for the meetings. You may say that it's just like yet another stupid assistant, but it's not. It's open source and it can run independently, run standalone. That's making it a game changer, as well as it can recognize several languages at the same time, and it working really precisely. And today we having a session that should have been started 5 minutes ago about agentic AI and how it's gonna transform the software as a service management. For this discussion, we invited our two experts. First of them is Dmitry Grankin, who is author of Vexa.ai, Challenge. Yeah. And the second is Abhishek Singh, who is co-founder at Oppla startup and also a CEO. Guys, very glad to see you here.
Pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
How do you do today?
Well, I'm pretty awesome, and the weather is also good over here. So overall, it's an amazing day. What about yours?
Abhishek, you're in Canada now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver.
Oh, what's time is it now for you?
Well, it's 10 a.m. So yeah, a bit early in the day.
Morning call with us, yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah,
I see you guys are almost at the end of the day of yours, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Our hackathon is coming to the sunset because actually we will have our talk about 40 minutes and then we should announce the second checkpoint. Teams checking with an expert and then go sleep. If following the advice of our, we recorded a podcast like a winning stack. We have 3 episodes and everyone recommending to sleep during the hackathon, not hacking like 2 days round clock. Well, anyways, it's upon a team choice. Who knows? Okay, Dmitry, how do you feel? How your teams are going? Like, what's interesting from the checkpoint, from communication to the teams solving a challenge?
Yeah, we spent the whole day supporting the hackathon, and guys are doing well. We've got a few teams that are building something really exciting. Just because Vexa is the API, is infrastructure layer, so guys can have it as an extra dimension into their workflows, and so they are now have access to Google Meet transcripts as they come, real time or after meetings. So it brings a lot of new data and new gems to their products.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much, Dmitry. Yeah, Abhishek, it's a very important question. Have you ever been to Lisbon?
Unfortunately not yet, but I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, you should too, because actually, together with Dmitry, we are also launching AI Tinkerers at Lisbon. It's for the AI builders. And we will have our first dry run meetup within a venue during a hackathon. Yeah. And whenever you come to us to Lisbon, we specifically for you will do the AI Tinkerers meetup, like a special edition. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm curious. Do you know about this? It's a it's a global community of AI practitioners. It's restricted to those who build actually every day, and it's about 40,000 people around the globe. Local meetings, about monthly local meetings, and we have just launched this one. Just together with the hackathon, So tomorrow we got our inauguration meeting. Is this?
Oh wow, that's amazing, guys. All right, I
Yeah.
didn't know actually, to be honest.
Imagine we take all of these 40K people and we can build any agentic AI, whatever we wanted to. I think it's the most popular topic nowadays is the startups that are closing because the agentic AI is not AI, it's
Well, I certainly agree on that aspect because I follow closely the SF Bay Area towards like what investments is kind of happening and what new products that they are delivering. And here's something that the trajectory I've seen in at least in the YC. So YC generates a list of what kind of applications that they would like to fund, right? And in the last 1 to 2 years, what they have transitioned is like they wanted to solve some core problems using some solutions as in like code and stuff. But recently they have transitioned all the way from when they were using this cryptocurrency all the way towards the agentic AI. And even the agentic AI there, they have transitioned towards a full scale agentic AI. So giving you for an example like how Vexa.ai does that. Hey, I can get the transcript right now, so technically I have literally like Vexa.ai has literally created a solution that I don't need a note taker anymore, and I don't have to even invest my money for getting some fireflies or auto.ai kind of an application, but I can leverage a Vexa.ai right now. And in that same trajectory, I will say that agentic AI is moving way more in the cooler space where the stuff that we were unable to achieve in like in a few months time frame, now because of the agentic AI, this transition is kind of happening in way less than like a day or so. So yeah, it's a very cool technology and really excited about it.
Yeah. You got it absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, the idea behind that was just to get rid of annoying UIs, like this fixed workflows, and just give the future agent, future agentic workflows, a new tool via like possibly via MCP, so that like the user agent can do whatever it needs to do alongside with any other APIs and AMCP service that are around.
I agree, and I think in this direction, and just brainstorming in the real time over here, just thinking out loud that you mentioned a very good information about the MCPs, right? So what actually Vexa can like have a future here that hey, you have getting the transcript now because the agent can identify the action items. From there onwards, it can automatically hit the MCPs that I can have connected inside the Vexa. So instead of relying on something as a front end view where like N10 or make.com, like how everyone is connecting the dots, like Vexa AI can literally take the ownership and do the stuffs automatically for the individuals instead of like we can just talk and things get being done, right? So a next level of agentic AI kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my hand raised. I think I need to say very important thing. That actually let me be that person that say okay. And didn't you see the Terminator movie with yeah? Didn't you see the
Yeah.
Matrix? So
Oh
my
yeah.
question is that like let's give a little bit more context to people because for me machinery, like I'm even not saying computer, yeah, I'm saying machinery since the first industrial revolution because people are considering what's happening right now as a second industrial revolution. And so since the first industrial revolution, machinery been bringing us the devices where we can put our own input and receive some output. Yeah. And let's say, I know that you both are great experts and you can discuss it on a very high matter. But let's make it easy from the beginning and then go deeper, deeper, and deeper. So
Agree.
you both got on the thing that actually agentic AI can collaborate between itself, I would say themselves, yeah, without the user. But anyways, I just would like to understand what's going to happen with the most fundamental thing. What we gonna input and what will we have as an output? If you may have provide some examples, would be awesome.
Sure, Dmitry. What do you want to take a
Yeah.
stab on that, or do you? Huh?
Yeah, As an input, you got a question, and as or request, and as an output, you got an answer or a product. And
What's real example? Like, I don't know. I want to buy a car.
uh, yeah, I want to buy a car. Buy a car for me that suits my like my family needs and my budget. And I got a car. Um, yeah, fundamentally it's like it's the ideal world that's about, and the all the rest is just the internet of mcp servers or apis, which don't need anymore any kind of uis, because like we got basically need the only ui which is I'm as a user need right now to be able to express myself for what I need, and for what is to describe my choice, and yeah, and basically that's it, and assess the result and go and the feedback loop. That's it. What you say, Abhishek?
Well, I 100% agree with you, Dimitri. Just taking a bit of an additional approach over here. So, because Oppla.ai, what we have developed here as well, is very much like an agentic system, and my goal is to like think in the direction like how the product managers or any business owner, for example, you as well, in the Vexa, Dimitri, what you are doing is you are taking the feedback and iterating the solution, right? So, I'm just thinking out loud that hey, I, as a owner or a business owner or a project person, what I will want to know from the agent or the artificial intelligence that, hey, tell me which feature should I work on next, right? That is the only question I will put in the LLM. Now, the agentic AI should automatically give me response by verifying the user's conversion, the churn rate, also any feedbacks, informations like that, and then give me a response that, hey, because of all these informations, you should prioritize working on, let's say, MCP integration or maybe some additional integration, stuff like that. So, in my ideal goal will be to give a very small question to the system as an agentic AI. It should automatically identify the need from that particular question and the context behind that particular question with the relevant information available to it, and then give me a very curated response so that I can take an action from there, or the agent itself takes an action to suffice my need, basically. So that's what will be my ideal goal.
Okay, so it's more like the workflow example, and in this workflow example, you got the basically the large language model taking decisions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, taking decisions for which is inevitable. Some level of decision making needs to be, yeah, yeah. You need the room for this, and
Yeah.
then fundamentally here is the question is whether AI is general enough to be able to do so, which is able to plan, to reason, to plan, to understand the physical world. This is what are the definitions given, yeah, by Jan LeCun about these things, and for now it's still not quite there, and we need human here in order to do it right, and I that's a good. I think it's a good news for us.
Uh, I think like it is amazing news for us, and just adding on top of that. So if taking an example of how Claude Code currently does that in the terminal, if I'm writing and asking it to do something, it will say me that hey, would you want me to proceed or not, or do you want me to give full access to do whatever I want to do, basically. So that is the level of guidance the human has to sit, and I believe for the foreseeable future, still the time like the whole AGI comes into existence, the human intervention will always be needed, because the guidance to the LLM can only be given by the human, not by the LLM itself. We can define the algorithm or the parameters on the basis of which LLM can guide itself, but end of the day, it has to always be human giving the guidance.
Yeah, this is the question is about what's the level you need to stop actually. what's the level of decision making? Because basically at the higher level, we are humans, we just want to avoid pain towards pleasure, and if there's a final goal, so that is it correct that all the other decisions need to be just decision making can be made by AI below this high level, which is a core, like the fish brain inside us, to
I,
feed the fish brain inside us,
yeah.
or yeah,
So
or what's the strategy? What's the level of strategic thinking
yeah.
we need to stop? And I argue is that what I argue is that fortunately we're not still there, so we can, yeah, so we can deliver this.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you in that context. Like, where exactly should we stop? Should the AI stop? Well, that's where we need to create the stop gaps, as in identifying the decisions that the system shouldn't be taking by itself. So, another example that I saw was from the cursor when I was reviewing some Reddit post, and that's why it was mentioned that cursor itself started telling the user that you cannot use the same credential to log in multiple application. However, that is not the real policy for the cursor, for example, right? And that like pulled the cursor's user base a bit down. Like there was a deviation from the revenue that the cursor was generating. Now that is the stopgap that needs to be created or needs to be done, so that AI automatically doesn't answer something that it shouldn't be, right? So there are certain questions for even for Oppla as well. Giving a just example that if anyone goes inside the Oppla, and right now we are in the beta stage, so people who are getting onboarded, they ask questions to the Agentic AI, and I don't want Agentic AI to automatically create a subscription for that particular user, right? So there is a stopgap, and I don't want Agentic AI to talk anything in regards to how the subscription works, how the architecture works, basically in the backend, right? So those are also the stopgaps. Similarly, there is another company named as Swan.ai. So they are creating applications, or the AI SDR, basically AI software sales development representatives, and they have the same kind of stopgaps. Like, hey, I don't want my agentic AI to talk anything in regards to what the payment structure looks like, or how, any kind of issues related to the emotional tolerance, right, or the emotional quotient, basically. So those are the ones, the decisions that only humans should be making, not the LLM. And I don't foresee, at least in the very near future, or at least some near future, that those decisions can be made by the LLM. There has to be those stopgaps, and the human will have to come in.
Should be such decisions be regulated by the government, or how we understand which decisions should be thresholded and which decisions can may have take
Oh,
place?
yeah. Oh yeah, that's an interesting topic to to discuss. Go ahead, Abhishek.
For me personally, I feel like there it is good to have some government intervention. But if we want to let AI flourish, that will reduce the pace with which we evolve. However, we certainly need guidance towards which direction we should be going as a whole human race, precisely, right? Because AI level changes that we are seeing today, it is like the once in a millennium kind of change. Because I see there was a, as you were rightly were saying, Daniel, that there was a machine level kind of expansion in the past, right, in the 1900s ish. Then there was, of course, something came, which was internet bubble, right? And then from the internet bubble, now there is an AI bubble. We are kind of evolving as a humankind. So who can guide us? Well, at least we need some kind of a defining governance, or the defining policies that can help us guide towards the better future, instead of like get into full chaos. So that's what my take is. Dimitri, what's about you?
Yeah, I think that the complication here is that we are not a unified humanity. Is that we've got like we've got the US, we've got China, we've got maybe Europe, if it's but it's got at least 20 27 heads too. And yeah, any kind of regulation it puts a restriction towards the pace of development. And if you can basically, they can't afford themselves to get into this situation, because otherwise they start losing the curve, right? And the curve means everything right here, because like a month, a half a year ahead in the AI race can mean everything at some point, when there is a positive feedback loop for self-development of AI. So they just can't afford themselves to do any kind of regulations. The US already abandoned the idea of regulations officially, and China, even it doesn't even say anything about it, but definitely it's a kind of central regulation towards the development. So yeah, that's the complication. So we can do anything, and the China and the US, they can do anything to to do to deliver any kind of safety measures, in fact, in this situation.
Let me add a small story here that actually in 2018, maybe so, 7 years ago, when I've been to the NASA Moon Mission Museum venue, it's been telling the story because as NASA and SSSR have been in a race for moon, like who first will step on the moon. And the Soviet Union had been developing automatic pilotage system, whereas Americans was utilizing the manually operated systems. Americans won, especially this race. And I tell this story just to highlight that since even before the first industrial revolution, like when we were all riding horses instead of driving cars, like I think it's very deep in our DNA. We apply some input and we get some output. And all agentic systems we have nowadays are still working this way, meaning that actually even Tesla that's doing a great driver assistance, it's anyways considered as like, I don't know, additional pedal or additional button to control. Yeah, it's very persistent behavior that can be used as assistant by human. But we right now are trying to step into the agentic era. And my question here is that, are we enough ready to delegate such thing as an input? Because I think I assume it's like to be a human, like to touch and feel something. Yeah, it's an input, and switching to agentic it means to delegate this very basic sense, isn't it? What do you think? To be honest, I really would like to make this step, but I just want to challenge from what should I start? What transformation should I pass in my mind to be capable to delegate such important thing of mass sensation?
Well, please go ahead, Dmitry.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, like the question is pretty clear at this specific point, just because the AI is pretty down. The LLM as a model is a pretty down thing. It's not now. It's not it's not artificial general intelligence at all right now. So this brings this limitation. So you can look at it as an excavator, and you are the machine operator. So you got really great power. Me as a software developer, I not write, and I even don't read code anymore for the last at least 6 months or something. But for me, it's like when I code like this, it's like having a team of 5 or 6 developers which are in full sync with each other, and we don't have to have these daily meetups all the time. uh, yeah, but I am still, this will not work without me. and it will not work if I would just say continue, continue, continue. It will not work. It will get out of rails instantly. So I have to be aware at all times what I'm doing, what's the system design. So I'm just on another layer of abstraction. I'm like a team lead now, but the team itself is fully automated. The team, but I need to be, aware of the system design, uh, and like the basic system elements at all
Is
times
it
and
is
what I'm
it
doing.
di- is it differ somehow from the just AI empowered team?
Uh, it's some kind of different idea. I think it's the AI empowered team. But I'm not sure about what does this mean. You can tell
On
me.
the empowerment, AI empowered team side, every developer stays the developer, but just expected to perform like 30% better than just
thirty
without
percent rookie numbers. 30%. It's
Can imagine Apple shares raise 30% tomorrow. I become
I'm at least like 1,000%. Like a last summer, I was a team lead of a team of 7 people, and I I know what I mean. So these guys are not fully automated. And they do, some of them do have their own automated teams, but some just continue doing what they do. Yeah. So yeah, the thing is that I still have to be, at all times I have to understand what I'm doing. So this is the hard limit here, but this limit is not embodied in the nature of the universe, and it's going to change. It's changing all the time. The bar is getting higher and higher all the time for the large language model. Yeah. So uh, we are not at this point to make this the decision whether we want it or not, but when we are at that point, it will be already too late.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Dimitri on that one. And one thing I feel like the LLM, uh, I think it will take some time for LLMs to achieve that kind of autonomous way of thinking where they can decipher the emotions, right? And that is where they are going to lag a lot, that they cannot understand the emotional quotient that, as you were telling Dan, that, hey, if I touch myself, I am getting a kind of a feeling, right? So that is an emotion kind of getting in. LLMs are getting an information. They're working as a machine just to doing the calculations and giving you the response at this time, right? But the decisions in, especially in the business or almost day-to-day activities, that whatever we do, the decisions are very much influenced by our emotions. The moment we can decipher like how we can ingest the emotional quotient inside the LLM, either by just kind of a prompting or something, that's when this whole agentic solution can be solved, in my opinion.
It's sounding like a new way to interrupt personal space, like you touch my LLM. Yeah.
Precisely, precisely.
Yeah, and so yeah, LLMs are good at language manipulation, and they can trick us to believe that they do feel the touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also they don't have we are, as a human species, evolved in a tribe. We've got our own, like we've got empathy, which is embodied into our mind as a breaker. So we naturally behave for the well-being of the tribe, and LLMs will fake that. And we've got people that know how to fake that, but they don't have empathy, which are called psychopaths. and these guys, they sometimes get to really high level of decision making as presidents of large countries, just because they know how to yeah, they don't have this hard stop, but they fake it. So my fear is that LM will do the same to us.
Fake it till I make it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Well,
so if this conversation is about a kind of this type of matters, which I always was, kind of willing to do.
but I will also like to add this that I agree with you, Dimitri. But I will also like to add that the way how I'm seeing the evolution of the LLMs in the past, when the ChatGPT came into existence with the 3.5 and 3.0 actually, and today it has changed so much. The response are now crisp. They understand what we need. It exactly is providing the response accordingly. My hypothesis is today is that in the very near future, we will have some kind of a LLM that can actually understand the empathy because it has data being fed about empathy as well, or maybe they are being trained on the data or the responses that humans are giving on the basis of these empathy and emotions, right? So I'm just thinking like the time is not that far away where we can interact with an LLM that can actually show a real-time empathy. Just giving you an example, there is a solution character.ai, right? So you can go ahead, create your characters and interact with it. And there are other solutions as well in the same space, spicy chat, etc. Right? So what exactly is happening there? We are providing the some kind of a script of personas as like the scenarios, what type of interaction the bot should be giving, and you start interacting with these bots. They are very much real, right? In the context of the responses. Well, the LLM are same. It is just we are manipulating the scenarios and the way how the LLM should be responding, and that is when it is started understanding that emotional need of the other person and provides that particular response, right?
Yeah,
So like toggling some kind of values in the model training, we may identify and find something very relevant very soon. Yeah.
yeah. I believe that this might happen with some iterations of some LLMs, but we also the thing is that as humans, we're not a single human. We are billions of people,
Yeah.
very different ones, and the number of such instances at which we are called agents or now will ma- can match the number of people in the universe. So will be a lot of different types of ones, and those which will be trained to know to behave like like a good person, like as a good agent. There'll be some which will take advantage of this as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's
Oh, I see your point over here, and I'm totally agreeing on that aspect too. At the same time, but I feel that, and you brought a very important point that we are almost equivalent to 7 billion people on the planet Earth, right? And 7
eight,
billion people,
eight,
all of
yeah,
eight,
eight,
sorry,
eight
yeah,
and
eight, yeah, something like, in that range. When we go in the billions, I lose the numbers. Well, then you think in the direction that every individual is having a personality trait that they will always talk, decide, and manipulate the situations in a certain way, right? Agents, however, they like not agents, but the LLMs, they will be trained, but then always their response will be in a monotonous way. They cannot deviate from that kind of a response until and unless we specifically give them some kind of a personality or additional informations. So now, to your point, I think it becomes very relevant that no matter how much we train the LLMs, the response will not be as diverse as the humankind provides, right?
In addition to everything you say, I really would like to see how LLM behave when I give access to my webcam and microphone. because it will be multidimensional inputting. So yeah, things like Vexa can transcribe. It anyways will be language check. Like as a philosophy has been started. The word was at the beginning. Yeah, like some peace of mind, and the LLMs are operating in words. So well, if we can give it additional input, maybe see the great results. What do you think? I think we need slowly wrap up, but would really love if we can uncover this. Like, what are your predictions? How the LLM behavior may change if we give additional input, and how it may affect agentic.
Well, from my side, I feel like as detailed context you provide inside the LLM, the response will be more streamlined and on the spot. And I totally believe that Vexa can achieve that because Vexa has solved one thing, which is getting one dimension of input, as in like text or like the audio input, right? And with the audio, it can also decipher the sentiment, basically, right? As the people are speaking. Then, if we can also get inside the video, right, the video layer, well, that will be the additional. So basically, we have three different like dimensions of the data being fed inside the LLM, and then we can also, in addition to that, we can put a fourth dimension, which is literally just describing what this personality trait or like what exactly is the expectation. And I 100% believe that the response is going to be mind-boggling. And hopefully, one of the projects in either this one or the next hackathon, or maybe your pet project, Dmitry.
Yeah. Yeah. These models are multimodal already for quite a while already. They know how to understand and generate text and images and audio as well. So it's a pretty much almost the full range, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing specific about any other types of sense we've got. If we'll be able to encode this, it will be able to encode and decode and generate on that. Yeah, that's all a matter of data, information, and it's all and the matter of some scaling laws that we are trying to figure out to understand how when it's going to achieve human level intelligence.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm always scared to see that human level intelligence because as humans, we are not like, there is a
Nobody
survival
knows where
instinct
we
for us.
are. Maybe
Exactly.
generally I will be announced tomorrow, or maybe we even will not see it during
Yeah,
our life. Who
guys,
knows?
we generally don't know. Let's be clear, because if I have a cursor agent and I still have to, and I still have to guide it, but why not put an agent on top of this agent, and why not make this agentic network? It's just not there. It's just nobody
Yeah.
actually even tried it on scale. We don't know. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just a matter of this, long-term planning is just will collapse with the layers of matryoshka. We don't know.
No, and that is where we have built our Oppla, wherein like we have almost close to what I can say like 12 agents right now, like all collaborative and working in the multiple layers. And the decisions that these agents are being also taking, there are like multiple layers of identifying if this is the right decision for the ask the user has done, and then also identifying the governance and the policies, etc. Of course, but then at least I believe I'm totally aligned in the context of what Dimitri you are stating that hey, there will be multiple layers, and even though we have so many layers, we need the human intervention to make the final decision. I believe,
We'll hope.
for sure.
Exactly, that's true. We do not know so many, but a little become more clear today because of our discussion. And guys, thank you very much. It was very hot, to be honest. And we're getting closer to our checkpoint. And let me say a huge thanks to Dmitry. And I think you soon have to switch to talk to the teams together with Abhishek. Abhishek, you didn't join in the morning because it was like night, you've been sleeping. But right now, I invite you to Discord to collaborate with Dmitry and Florian on working with teams on a Vexa challenge. So yeah, let's help them to build the perfect solution they may present tomorrow. Thank you very, very much for the discussion and for your time. It was fascinating and really engaging. So glad to see you soon, and please stay tuned. I think we need to build a community,
of course,
that's gonna driven everything. Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. Amazing opportunity to talk to you, Abhishek. Yeah, thanks. That was really hot.
Thanks, Daniel, and thanks, Dmitry, for being a sport. And it was really amazing. And thanks for bringing me on board as well. Really appreciate it. And yeah, wish you all the best, guys.